I'm William Kumwembe, and this is Business Time, a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. And in the program today, cost of living rise hurts households. We find out to what extent. And Central Bank Governor Wilson Banda sticks to guns on ambitions on the GDP growth projections. We have these and other stories. Stay tuned if you could.
Easy Mob, why must you always brighten my day?
Be the envy of homeowners at all times by cleaning up with Easy Mop, a highly absorbent 100% cotton household and industrial mop that covers more space and has convenient and reusable handles. Easy Mop is readily available in ShopRite supermarkets and OGP outlets nationwide.
Highly rated for its strength as well as heavy and substantial cleanup, Easy Mop leaves your home made, and by the way, it's homemade.
Buy Malawi and build Malawi. Trust only Easy Mop, manufactured by Imani Investments in Blantyre. Call 0888-574-528 or email info@imaninvestments.com.
Easy Mop for that sparkle in your household.
Hello and welcome, and this is Business Time. In our main story, poverty continues biting hard on a majority Malawians' households. The cost of living was seen rising by about 21% in October 2020. A monthly report published by the Center for Social Concern has shown. Figures contained in the report show that the national average cost of living was at 198,917 kwacha during the month under review, up from 164,316 kwacha as at end July. However, the rate is 10% low than the 221,391 kwacha rate recorded in February. What does this mean to a majority Malawians who already live on less than $1 a day? Chumwe Mangazi has the whole story.
Revelations of an increase in the cost of living are sending shivers to Malawians, especially those dwelling in urban places. Some of the members of the public attest that their disposable income has drastically gone down, while others are already spending nights on empty stomachs. These are residents of Ndirande Township in Blantyre, and they share their predicament.
Nowadays, life is not because of the disease, which is caused of disease of COVID-19. Things are not going well because of COVID-19. Not live well because of having no food and everything which I can do at my home.
I can just say, in general, life is fair. In terms of living standard, at least per day, what I can have it's almost 30,000, which is at least at least I can feed my family. The last year, I was making almost 10,000 per day, but this time around with COVID-19, the money that I'm making is only 3,000. So 30,000, I can adjust looking at the COVID-19 period.
Life's so hard. We will find difficult to make ends meet. Also, money is scarce.
There's mostly more of the problems what people are facing. Like in terms of food, things are very expensive comparing to those days, past days.
Chief Executive Officer of the Africa Institute for Corporate Citizenship, AICC, Felix Lombe, added that drivers of cost of living are food, housing and transport, and evidence has shown that each of these has been heavily pushed up by COVID-19, with some minimal exception on food, especially locally produced food.
Well, I think we should first look at what drives the cost of living in Malawi. Basically, it's food, housing, but also transport. And all these three have been hit by prevalence of COVID, with the minimal exception of food, largely because the maize is grown locally, and we have been able to to keep it for some time, even amidst COVID. However, you may want to know that we are going to have the prevalence of COVID for the next maybe 10 months. And therefore, we should expect the cost of living, which is driven by these three, parameters to keep on going up. And maybe sometime around April, because that's the period that we are going to harvest, and there is a minimal stabilization. But as far as Malawi is concerned, the cost of living is something that has always been on the higher increase, and especially in the urban areas. Therefore, there is nothing strange, and it's not surprising that the cost of living has gone up. One, of course, would take minimal relief in the fact that the government has increased, the tax-free band for employees, up to 100,000. So there should be a little cushion, but that cushion is not something that you can expect, to have a huge impact. But still, it's better than none. So we should be able to see a bit of relief, especially on those that are working. But then for those that are not working, obviously, this will be something that that will impact them heavily.
Center for Social Concern Economic Governance Programs Officer Bernard Mpepo said the government must open ADMAC markets to ensure access to maize at affordable prices.
Now, the Reserve Bank of Malawi Governor Wilson Banda has defended the over-optimistic growth projection of the local economy by the central bank. The RBM recently projected GDP growth this year at 1.2%. At the time, institutions such as the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank put Malawi's economic growth at 0.6%. But where is the central bank getting its confidence? This is the question our reporter Daunga Sabora asked Banda.
Before COVID-19, we projected the GDP growth for Malawi to be in excess of 5%. I think it was 5.6%. With the coming in of COVID-19, we have revised that figure down to 1.2%. That is a massive reduction in output. And with it, obviously, jobs have been lost, livelihoods have been compromised. And our strategy right now is to see how we can resuscitate the economy and bring life back to the economy. The reason behind our more optimistic growth for GDP compared to these other growths is because Malawi is essentially an agro-based economy. Despite COVID-19, output from agriculture remained strong. If you notice, output from maize from last year was pretty strong. That's why our inflation numbers are coming down. It's because food inflation has been contained. Why has it been contained? It's because output growth from last year remained strong despite COVID-19. Going forward, maybe that's where the challenges would actually kick in. But for 2020, yes, we think we are pretty solid in terms of our projections. We have taken measures to provide some accommodation to the banking industry. I'm glad to report that our banks remain strong, they remain resilient, they remain well capitalized. On the monetary policy side, we have taken measures to ensure that the exchange rate is flexible, and the basic idea is to absorb external shocks. And we have also taken measures to make sure that the interest rates are also responsive to what is happening on the ground. And for that reason, interest rates also remain flexible. Interest rate movement will absorb all internal shocks, and the exchange rate movements will absorb all external shocks.
Remember, this is Business Time with me, William Kumwembe. It is a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. When we get back, we will, among other stories, look at the private sector's preparedness for the use of Continental Free Trade Area instruments. That's when we get back in Business Time.
ana inu siyani zimene mukupangazo simukuziwa kuti kuli matenda a coronavirus simukuyenera kumayandikana komanso kumagwirana eni tengani bodeke ya hand sanitizer kuti muziteteze kuma germs. Bodeke ya hand sanitizer amateteza ku 99.9% ya ma germs. Safunika mazi ndi wabwino kugwiritsa ntchito pa khomo, ku ntchito komanso pa ulendo. Ndi onunkhira komanso ndi osabola mthumba. Bodeke ya hand sanitizer akupezeka m'mashopu achipiku, Shoprite, Sana ndi ena. Khala notetezeka pogwiritsa ntchito bodeke ya hand sanitizer opangidwa ndi Akandrix.
Welcome back. The private sector players have asked the government to consider formulating a clear roadmap on creating a conducive business environment in the country before ratifying the African Continental Free Trade Area. Provisions of the Continental Trade Pact are expected to be operationalized on January 1, 2021 in some of the countries. The pact will see different countries in Africa trading for free by removing taxes and other charges on imports and exports. Justin Kweu reports.
Malawi, an agrarian economy, has an infant manufacturing sector producing a few commodities for export market due to, among other factors, high cost of production, persistent energy use, and high transportation costs. Speaking during a stakeholder meeting between the Ministry of Trade officials and private sector players on Friday, Malawi Confederation of Chambers of Commerce and Industry MCCCI Director of Business, Environment and Policy Advocacy, Madalisoga Zembe, said if some challenges affecting productivity were not ironed out, Malawi would not make the most of the EFCTA.
One of the areas that need protection is our nascent manufacturing industry, which still has a long way to grow, for it to grow. Protection is in a number of ways. Our government needs to make sure that it brings in incentives that make sure that the manufacturing sector becomes more productive, ensure that it looks at the taxation issues, the issues that affect private sector and especially manufacturing sector, such as smuggling. Those normally affect the growth of the manufacturing sector. And also look at the infrastructure, the enabling environment to ensure that the manufacturing sector and the private sector grows. So enabling environment in terms of infrastructure, in terms of energy, in terms of telecommunications. So all those areas, we have to make sure that they are there. They are there to strengthen and ensure that they provide the right environment for the manufacturing sector to thrive.
The meeting aimed at discussing market access offer, where the private sector was debriefed on categories of the trade. Principal Secretary of the Ministry of Trade, Christina Zakeo, said after the meeting, officials would have insight into how to move forward. She added that the revealed national export strategy is expected to help resolve some of the challenges that the private sector players are facing.
Actually, at the moment, I think as I've indicated earlier on when I was opening the meeting, we are looking at a number of policies and strategies. At the moment, with the support of the UNECA, we are developing a strategy for the implementation of this particular agreement. And not only that, you are also aware that we are also reviewing our national export strategy, and during the course of next year, early next year, we should be, launching that particular strategy. So in terms of the policies, in terms of we have engaged different ministries that are responsible for different, sectors, like in the area of infrastructure, in the area of energy, or the other ministries. They are on board working with us, including the private sector, because we expect the private sector to invest into some of these important sectors. And it should not only be the responsibility of government, but we need to look at how can we work together to invest in such sectors in order for us to fully benefit from the Continental Free Trade Agreement.
The initiative is being supported by the European Union Economic Trade and Governance. According to the team leader for the section, Jose Navarro, given that Malawi was crawling in different sectors, the country stood to benefit more because this will help boost its economy.
An FTA means that the relative prices change, so there are opportunities in order to access more cheaply other markets, but also that means that there will be more competition locally from other markets, other products from Africa. So Malawi needs to calibrate as well as possible its offensive interests in terms of accessing other markets while protecting its interests here. So they need to calibrate that to the best of their ability.
Other business news: in the past 6 months, business in most sectors of the economy has been slow due to COVID-19 pandemic. Cross-border traders are among the hardest hit, as for some months, some countries like South Africa, who are Malawi's traditional trading partners, were on a lockdown. Under the banner Cross-Border Traders Association of Malawi, players in the industry met in Lilongwe on Tuesday to review business trends and map the way forward. Our Lilongwe-based business journalist Taonga Sabwa was there and now reports.
Speaking in Lilongwe on Tuesday, chairperson of the Cross-Border Traders Association, Esther Chugambiri, said the business people have been greatly affected by the coming of COVID-19. Chugambiri said, among others, COVID-19 led to the closure of borders, which made it impossible for the cross-border traders to go into other countries to get their merchandise.
Yeah, we have a lot of challenges. The most important one is, as you know, that COVID-19 has come for a lot of time has been there. So most of the traders, they have lost their capitals during the COVID-19 pandemic, and most of them, they don't have even capital to start again the business. Another challenge is that up to this time, most of the borders are not yet opened, so they are just sitting at home, eating the capital they had. We think that we are going to have a difficult life, but we have hope that if we can have a support for these traders to have maybe a capital so that they can be sustained their businesses, it will be okay. These loans, yeah, they are there, but they are coming from different partners, different funders. It's from OSISA, they are funding women's. With this pandemic, knowing that most of the traders, they don't have enough capital. So these loans are for women traders, for them to sustain their businesses. And this loan has come at the right time.
In recent months, the country has seen its trading unit, the Kwaja, losing its value against other major trading currencies, including the US dollar. Chugambiri says the loss of value of the Kwaja has also affected the business of cross-border traders.
These have been affected us because when we go outside to buy our products, it means when you come back to sell, we can't sell at the same price. We are selling at a loss. So it have been affected us because of this problem.
Southern Africa Cross-Border Traders Association Gender Officer Mary Malunga said the assistance that the Cross-Border Traders Association has received from other institutions would help to mitigate the impact of COVID-19.
This funding, it will assist the cross-border traders who have been negatively affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. As you know, most borders have been closed, so that has left cross-border traders with the inability to continue their business. So this funding is first of all to assist traders in preventing COVID-19 through provision of protective gear, but also to provide seed capital so that the cross-border traders can bounce back into business once the borders are open. Yes, statistics show us that within the Southern African region, over 80% of cross-border traders are women. So these funders have emphasized that most of the funding should go to the women, because first of all, they are the majority in cross-border trade, but also they are most affected by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Malawi has thousands of cross-border traders who ply their trade between Malawi and Tanzania, Malawi and Zambia, Malawi and Zimbabwe, as well as Malawi and South Africa. In recent years, other traders have been operating between Malawi and China.
Well, with that story, we've also come to the end of today's edition of the program Business Time, a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. On behalf of the entire production team, my name is William Kumwembe. Always remember, if it doesn't make money, then it doesn't make sense. Bye for now and stay safe.